think we're live.
Oh, hello, YouTube. Thanks for finding us on this wonderful Thursday evening. We'll be starting a podcast momentarily. Your podcast is cruising at 30,000 feet.
Yes, in the unlikely event of a water landing, you can exit the podcast here, here, and here.
Please use your chairs as a flotation device.
And remember to stay in your seat in the upright and locked position. The most uncomfortable position possible.
Podcast.
Okay, are we ready?
Yep.
I am finally. Let's do this. Welcome to Caching in the Northwest, the only podcast from the birthplace of geocaching in the great Pacific Northwest. Each week, we'll talk about caches and cachers from here and around the globe. So while you're busy calculating how many Band-Aids it's going to take to cover that scraped knee, we'll be caching in the Northwest.
That's right. And that means it's time to bring in our methodical monkey. Some say he can't go tubing without YouTubing, and others say he's crushed more geocaching dreams than Godzilla has crushed buildings. All we know is he's called the Land Monkey.
Here I am to crush your dreams. What a great way to enter into a podcast. Hey, everybody, how's your day going? Let me crush your dreams.
No, you've crushed the geocaching dreams.
Geocaching dreams. Okay. I'm sure that's somehow completely different. Got it. All right. Hey, good to be back here with you guys. So glad Wits End is back. I know it was a tight time for you to get back here.
Been home all of about 10 minutes, so let's see where we are.
Let's just roll with it. All right.
Let's podcast.
Hey, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Good to see you, buddy. How you doing?
I'm okay.
You need a few minutes to breathe?
Breathing is overrated.
Did you get a beverage?
I've got some water, and I had my I finished off my glass of Airborne because I'm still fighting off illness, but
you know how to party.
Oh yeah. Way to live here.
All right. Chris in the Northwest, how you doing, buddy?
I'm okay. I should have had a glass of Airborne, but I'm finishing off my caffeinated beverage.
There you go.
And I have my glass of water ready to go.
I'll do my best not to hack up along live on the podcast, and we'll be set.
Awesome.
I'll try not to go to sleep.
All right.
Caffeinated beverage, you should be set.
That's what I'm hoping.
Okay.
Well, Chris of the Northwest is
Land Monkey. How are you?
How am I? I'm doing awesome. I'm
dream crusher. You.
I'm here to crush your dreams. I'm doing great. Yeah, had a great day, great evening, great week. Just feeling great. I'm here to carry the podcast.
Good. Glad somebody is.
Good night, all.
yeah, we're signing off. It's all Land Monkey. Bye.
Yeah. Hey, whoa, no. Awesome. No, great to be here. Great to be here with my friends. I think this is, I look forward all week to Thursday night, hanging out with you guys and hanging out with our friends in the chat. It's a lot of fun. But, I also want to throw out a quick reminder that we appreciate the support of our patrons who help to keep the podcast coming each and every week. If you want to know more about supporting the show, helping to keep Chris awake and Jim healthy, then click that Patreon link on the cachingandw.com website.
That's right. And hey, we want to remind patrons and everybody else that Geocaching HQ has crafted Geo Tours. There's a new promotion out to pack your bags and take off on a wicked treasure hunt around the world. Geocaching HQ and Air Transat are sending you on a wild scavenger hunt. And there's some debate. I asked last week if this was Amsterdam, Florida, or Amsterdam, Florida, and Richmond, BC. In any case, wherever those destinations are, there are geo tours that you can navigate a series of geocaches, cleverly hidden containers, as you would expect geocaches to be. And you can find Air Transat trackable stars in one geocache per geo tour. Follow the instructions. They are find it, brag about it, and then hide it into the geocache. Sounds like fun.
Simple enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you need to brag about it more.
Yeah. Move that trackable along and, have some fun. Find out how far the star will travel. You
Nice.
can follow what? Landmonkey GC, BCGA, Metro Van Geocachers, and find all about those special star trackables.
There you go. For sure. Yep. Follow any of those 3 Twitter or Facebook accounts, and all 3 of them are posting all the deets about what you need to do if you're in the Northwest and you want to get up to the Richmond Geo Tour. If you haven't done the Richmond Geo Tour, it is definitely worth coming up and checking out. It's a really well done Geo Tour. And now you have the bonus of, in one of those caches, you will get a special Air Transat trackable.
We all like bonuses.
Have any of them been found yet, or are they not quite out?
They're out. So I'm assuming some have been found. I haven't seen anything posted on the social medias, but
good job.
Good job. Yeah. Awesome. Hey,
okay.
Speaking of trackables, got another little piece of personal news. For those who've heard me whinging about it in the past or seen me whinging about it on social medias, my Earth Cache 101 trackable coin arrived.
Oh, look at that. It's pretty.
Yeah. So that is from in Cincinnati. They had the Earth Caching 101 Geo Tour, and I completed it when I was there for Gigastock, as Gary calls it, and earned the right to order the trackable. And it arrived last week. So I am very pleased to have that in my hands. Now, one thing I am going to tell you, and we'll tell you why a little bit later in our news section here, but I'm not going to activate it quite yet.
I was going to give you that tip of don't activate it just yet, but you already knew that.
Oh, yeah, I knew that, but we'll talk about that in a few minutes. Before we do, though, I also want to, we talked about our patrons right after the start of the show. Hey, I want to let you guys know, if you are a patron of the show, or if you're considering being a patron of the show, we recorded a special audio recording, I guess, audio video recording.
We did just like we do here. So it's a YouTube,
a special episode just for
special episode. I posted both the video link and the audio download. So whichever one you prefer.
So patrons, if you haven't gone to check that out, go to the patreon.com caching in the Northwest.
Mm-hmm.
And
caching NW,
and go check out your patron reward of a special episode just for you guys. And Wits End, I think you've also contributed something for the patrons.
Oh, a little thing I put together. We tried to put some wallpapers for your computer, smartphone, tablet, mobile device, what have you. It's something we thought we'd put together so you have something to remember us each and every day of the month.
There you go. So patrons, as always, there's always something new for you guys. Remember to always go on there and check out the Patreon site every once in a while, see what else has come up. And again, reminder, if you'd like to get in on some of that stuff, easy to sign up. For the cost of a coffee once a month, you can help support our show.
That's right. And it doesn't have to be a fancy coffee. It can be a McDonald's coffee.
There you
once
go.
a month. You're still helping out the show. Have you been to Starbucks lately?
Yeah.
You can order an $8 cup of coffee.
Yes. Those are the ones you order when you have enough rewards to redeem for a free coffee.
Exactly. I've asked the baristas for that.
Give me the drip.
Yeah. I've got a reward. Help me plan an expensive drink. And they actually enjoy that.
What you got? Yeah.
Whatever you have, give me one of everything back there.
Exactly. Help me run the bill up. They said, okay, we can do that.
Have they really?
Yeah.
Well, nice.
It's kind of fun.
That would be fun. I'm going to have to try that next time.
I think it brightens their day as well.
Yeah. Rather than taking an order, they get to help craft the order.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. What extras can I mix into this drink to make it expensive? Well, we could do this. So, okay, let's do that. Okay, good.
Do you have any gold flakes?
Oh, Goldschlager. Oh, never mind.
Hey, Landmonkey came across a great video I want to make sure you guys know about. The geocaching YouTube vlogger Geo Elmo contacted the GIF film creators and many of the gift event hosts, or GIF, I should say. Sorry.
I was going to correct you there.
The GIF film creators and the GIF event host, and put together a great compilation video you should watch. So check your show notes. In fact, I'm going to copy this right now into.
Should we do that, or should we do it at the end of the show? I don't want to distract people.
Oh, you're right. No, you don't get it. You have to wait.
You have to wait.
Yeah, because people are going to click on it and then they're going to be off watching YouTube for the rest of the show. It's going to be in the show notes, and we'll put it into the chat in the after show because nobody pays attention then anyway.
Yeah, that after show thing. And speaking of waiting, you're going to have to wait till Sunday for the podcast of hope. But if you do, why the Caching in the Northwest crew, your very own 3 hosts here are going to be the closeout. They saved the best for last, I think is how it worked out.
I think so.
Yeah, Geocache Talk's doing a podcast of hope. So their podcast will go, I believe it's 8 hours, 12 hours. It's a long time.
12 hours, yeah.
Yeah.
12 hours. Wow.
This Sunday, that's the 2nd of December, 2018. For those of you that are listening to this at some point in the archives in the future, you missed it. But for those of you listening live, tune in Sunday, December 2nd, and that'll be 9 p.m. here Pacific, just about typical caching in the Northwest time slot. Yeah. For those of you in Texas, which is where Geocache Talk is hosted, that's going to be 11 p.m. And if you're on the East Coast, well, it'll already be Monday because it'll be after midnight. But come join us anyway. It'll be fun.
Yeah, how cool is that?
I St. Jude's, so that's a great cause.
Exactly. And I really admire Gary for doing this. This is the 3rd year for the podcast of hope.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's the 3rd year. Okay.
Yeah. Last year we couldn't make it on the podcast. We were at PodCon and had terrible connection, but we were able to do a video. It took me most of the day to upload it.
I remember that.
And send that off to Gary. So.
And I was on 2 years ago, and as I recall, I broke the podcast. I had to go.
No, you saved the podcast. The podcast broke around you.
Oh, okay. I was standing there amidst the rubble and staggered forward. Is that how you remember it?
So what we're saying is the only reason we've been asked back is because Jim has held the banner high for Caching in the Northwest.
You're looking for solo podcasting. I don't know.
You've got some experience there.
I can struggle through.
Yeah, there's
not
been
going
a
to say it's
couple
great.
of times. Yeah, there's been a couple of times the podcast is broken and you've carried it on your own. So
there you go. Well, hey, speaking of things that aren't broken, but speaking of special podcasts, don't forget to plan to join us, the Caching in the Northwest crew. We are going to be caching in the Northwest with a live studio audience, and it could be you. You can interact with us while we film a special episode of Caching in the Northwest at the Landshark store over in Victoria. It's going to be Christmas in the Northwest. It's event GC7ZPBX.
Zulu Papa Bravo X-ray.
Thank you. My brain just went on that. Okay, thank you. Zulu Papa Bravo X-ray. There you go. There's going to be prizes. There's going to be snacks. There's going to be beverages. There's going to be too much fun.
No, I can't have too much fun.
Well, you're going to have to. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'll try.
Okay.
I'll ramp it up.
Fun.
That's going to be Sunday, December 16th, noon to 2 p.m. at the Landshark store in Victoria. Come and join us. It's free and it's fun and it's too much fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
It's too free.
It's too free. It's too fun. It's overload.
Can anything be too free?
Too free, too fun up until 2 p.m.
Yeah.
And then we're heading for the ferry.
Too true. Oh, all right. What else we got?
New souvenirs.
Ooh, I like new
for December. Geocaching HQ has got a new souvenir starting this coming Monday. That's after the podcast of hope, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Activate a travel bug or drop someone else's in a cache. You can earn points toward the "You Might Be a Trackable Lover If" souvenir. So that's starting Monday and going all the way through the end of December. That's starting December 3rd at noon UTC, which is like 4 a.m. here Pacific. Mm-hmm. So you might as well just, unless you're a super, super, super early bird, it starts Monday.
Awesome. So in order to earn the souvenir, you need to gain a total of 80 points. I think every month has been 80 points.
No, this month is 70.
Oh, is it 70?
I want to say it might have been 60 last month. So I think it's ramping up.
They're changing it up on us. Okay.
Yeah. Go 80 points. So you can get 5 points by logging a found it. And 7 by logging a found it on a geocache with 10 or more favorite points.
All right.
You can attend an event. You can come to Christmas in the Northwest and earn 5 of your points.
We're giving you for 5 points for free.
You're
Yeah.
welcome, by the way.
Yeah. You can activate a trackable. There it is right there. That's a pretty trackable. Even when it's not out of...
Go ahead and activate Land Monkey's trackable because I think we can see the code. No, I'm joking.
You
We
couldn't. Nice try.
And you could drop off a trackable that you don't own.
Did you catch that? A trackable you
Sorry,
don't
I'm looking
own.
to see where the trackable code is now. I'm not anymore.
You have activated Land Monkey's paranoia.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, it's on the side. You definitely did not. Thanks a lot, Chris. What were you saying?
Hey, no problem, Land Monkey. I'm happy to help. Help you become paranoid. If you drop trackables that you own into a cache, 0 points. If you drop a trackable you do not own into a cache, 5 points.
Ah,
Yeah, they're not going to let you get away with that.
Wise to that little one, did they?
Yeah, I think so. But I think this whole theme is about trackables, so I think they're really pushing that. I've still got, I don't know, 8 dozen trackables from Geo Woodstock that I haven't yet activated, so this should be an easy one for me.
There you go.
Yeah, I've got some of the same. I got a few from there, and like I said, I've got my new Earth Cache 101. So, but part of the game though is also to get out there. And I do have, I will confess, I have a small handful of trackables in my inventory that belong to other people that I need to move. They are going to move on that weekend of the event of the 16th.
Oh, how very exciting!
Yeah, I'm hoping I'm going to get the opportunity to drop them into the brand new Geo Tour on Vancouver Island.
Wait, what new Geo Tour on Vancouver Island?
Yeah, I've been tweeting about that. It's up in the Parksville area. So yeah, check that out.
Cool.
Nice.
No special star trackables for Air Transat though.
No, it's not convenient for me to get out to Richmond. I might try and get out there this weekend. But I'd have to double check and figure out which cache they're in again. I can't remember, but because they're only in one of the caches of the Richmond Geo Tour. That was kind of part of the deal. Oh, I got a shout out to where is he? Is he in the chat? I thought I saw him in the chat. To Mr. GeoNav Pros. I think he's joined. Yeah, there he is. He's watching tonight. A shout out to Mr. GeoNav Pros, who actually did provide the cache container that the trackables are in for the Richmond Geo Tour. So thank you. That was a very generous and kind thing he did to help the game and help the Richmond Geo Tour. So there you go. Yeah. So there you go. So that's the news. Lots of news tonight, eh?
Lots of news.
So much news from so many places.
Mm-hmm.
But one place we always want to hear from is you, wherever that place you happen to be, because you are looking at the geocaching.com website all the time. And you know what you see there? You see logs, and perhaps they're very well written logs that are worthy to become glows or our geocaching log of the week. When you find one of those, we want to know about it because great logs simply make geocaching better. Send an email to feedback@cachingNW.com. You can call into 253-693-TFTC or use the voicemail tool on the website and show us how you glow.
And this week's glow came all the way from the East Coast. It's an East Coast fan, Team G Winchester, who apparently is located in Virginia, about 30 minutes south of West Virginia Tim Caches and about 2 hours west of Washington, D.C., the other Washington. He says, met almost all of you at Geo Woodstock 2018, and you guys, while not my first podcast, have become my favorite.
Aw.
We're honored.
Thank you.
He says he loves the chemistry between the hosts, and it's fun listening to all the adventures from the Northwest. And, Land Monkey, credit to you. You've inspired him to work on his Earth caches.
Nice.
So there you go.
Congratulations, Team G Winchester.
Yeah. Now the glow,
yeah,
as he wrote for GC2PJNC, Papa Juliet November Charlie, says, I can't believe no one has ever thought of this. And so it reads, after Shawnee Lookout, I thought I would swing into Indiana and get a cache. Strike one, map took me to a weird place. Strike two, the second strikeout. Well, I was going to give up, but then I saw this cache. Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes? Oh well, time to put on my big girl panties on and face down those snakes. Which maybe I should pause here and say I've been saying he earlier, and perhaps this is a she since
Now I'm kind of hoping so.
referencing big girl panties here. So my apologies for assuming gender there. Okay. So she put on her big girl panties to face down those snakes. Well, I get to the cache. I open up the container. The snake strikes out at me. I use my ninja skills and get out of the way. Oh, and I am not ashamed to admit I had to change my big girl panties. I thought by now someone would have gotten rid of this snake, but no. And just when I leave my snake wrangling gear at home, I said, I can handle this. I use my awesome snake charming and try to convince the snake to get back in its lair so I can sign the log. I had it in its lair, and then it saw something it did not like and tried to get out. Okay, another change of underwear needed. Finally, I had to break the rare shirtless snake charming dance. I had to study with a wise woman deep in the jungles of Africa to learn it. That put the snake to sleep, put him back into its lair, signed the log, and moved on to another cache. Hope there are no more snakes.
That's a great log. Oh my goodness. Thanks for sending in that glow.
That was fun.
I got to point out for people who are listening to the show, if you're new to this show, you might not know that one of the things we do every week with the glow is the glow gets pasted into the show notes immediately before we start the show. And Wits End has not seen the glow. He cold reads them every week. So, buddy, I just got to say once again, super impressed with your cold reading.
Well,
abilities.
thank you.
And that
Do
you
my
get
best.
thrown off by some things that would I would get the giggles and I'd be done.
You get the giggles anyway.
Yeah, I do. That's true.
I see you over there out of the corner of my eye.
I
giggling.
just sit back and giggle while you
Yeah.
talking. Yeah, that's true.
It's actually a goal of mine to make you giggle, but that's a whole different story.
Well, I'll see you in Victoria.
Okay,
And giggle we will.
that's right.
I'm sure we will.
Too much giggling.
That's
Oh.
right. Too much. All right. So, hey, what else do we have to talk about tonight?
Well, tonight our main topic is actually what's in our packs. And I'm thinking from this glow, we need to carry a snake charming kit,
Mm-hmm.
3 extra pair of underwear,
Yeah.
and maybe an extra shirt.
Well, there was apparently a shirtless snake charming dance, so we don't need a shirt.
You might need an extra shirt.
Can I just suggest to people at this point in time, you probably don't want to Google shirtless snake charming dance. So I'm just going to leave that there.
You know, I hadn't actually considered Googling it until you mentioned it, and now I kind of want to.
Can you wait till the show's done?
I'm going to wait till the show's done.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, and Dora Moore is the first to add something into the show here and says perhaps we should all pack extra underwear in our packs.
You know, never a bad idea. I do often pack extra socks in my bag just because wet feet are no fun.
There you go. Extra socks are definitely a good suggestion. I think like
And non-cotton socks.
GSMX2 had that. Yeah.
So,
So we're gonna go through a lot of stuff. I've actually got my pack right here beside me, so I'm gonna once we get into it, start to be able to go through some of the key things that are in there. But I first want to shout out a special thanks to BC SAR and Adventure Smart BC. If you don't know what BC SAR is the parent organization that supports all the BC search and rescue groups up here in British Columbia. They've been really helpful in, first of all, getting in general the message out about what to carry in your pack and the whole message about the 3 T's that you'll hear us talk about quite a lot. But they were also really helpful this week in promoting this episode of the podcast, getting the message out that we're going to be talking about it. So thanks, BC SAR and Adventure Smart BC. All right.
thank you
Sounds
so
good.
much. So, we were just talking in the chat there. Never wear cotton clothes when you go out
Mm.
in the because cotton is rotten.
Yeah.
Okay. So
So we had some social media feedback. Do
Thank
we
you.
want to go through some of that?
yeah. So 3 hams in a rose says on a hike. One of the many things I always carry is Advil. I start taking it before the hike begins.
Mm.
It's not a bad idea because you're going to be using muscles and perhaps irritating joints that you don't normally use when you're just around the house or at work. So, and Dora Moore says, never forget to pack your safety weasel.
Oh, yes. Don't forget to blow your weasel.
Yes, there is a story behind that. Yeah. If you'd like to know more about that story, make sure you contact Dora Moore. So there you go.
Should it be a safety weasel or a safety otter?
Mm.
Perhaps a safety ferret. A nice trained ferret, I mean, is useful in many, many situations.
Yes, but then you have to bathe them in oatmeal in your bathtub.
Oh, yeah, that's messy. And it makes the tub slippery.
That's right. That's what I've learned this week.
Yes.
I don't know
Gas
that.
station Tuna says, I always pack a little wire hangery thing. It's gotten me out of a lot of jams.
Okay, that's awesome. I would imagine there's some various purposes you could have for something like that besides breaking into somebody's car.
Well, does that even work anymore?
I guess I don't know. I haven't tried it.
I can tell you that I have been on a geocaching outing with friends where we had to use a coat hanger to open a car with keys locked inside at the head of the trail. It happened.
Recently?
No, this is several years ago.
Yeah. See, so it's funny. One of the things I look at in car design is, can you use a coat hanger and open this in any way?
So is that a plus or a minus for you when you're?
I think it's a plus, but it would be a minus if you locked out. There's no way to do it. But
there you go. All right. So
you can use it to poke the power unlock button.
There you go.
There you go.
All right.
It doesn't always work though if you have a convertible tops down because it's hard to get. Never mind.
There might be another option then.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, so thank you, Gas Station Tuna. That was an interesting one. Also on Twitter, we had heard from Dora Moore. And if you want to tweet Dora Moore, tag her in a tweet to ask about the safety weasel. It's at Dora Moore 2. There you go. Anyways, so she had said, I add hand warmers to her carry when she is caching in the wintertime. And I change up my regular water bottle for a thermos of hot water.
Oh, good tip. Yeah.
It is a good tip.
Yeah.
I like the new aluminum vacuum bottles.
Yeah.
Yeah, those keep hot things hot and cold things cold, but not at the same time.
I was going to say, I put chicken soup and a popsicle in mine together and it didn't work.
It didn't keep the hot things hot and the cold cold? No?
I'm really confused.
Wow, you got ripped off. You didn't get one of the good ones.
I do have hand warmers in my bag though, so.
Yep. That's definitely one of the things I carry this time of year. In fact, I'll jump into it a little bit right now. I got my hands on an electronic hand warmer, and I thought I don't know if this is really going to work, and I was actually pretty surprised. It works quite well. So stay tuned to my YouTube channel for a product review, a field tested episode about that in the near future. But Keats 94 also threw in there multi-tool, knife, flares, bear spray, and a good headlamp. So that's a good selection of things to make sure you carry.
Yeah. Well, a knife is good, but most multi-tools have a decent knife in it. But having what do I want to say, a survival type knife that has multiple functions to it is really quite nice.
Yep. Cool.
Now, from Adventure Smart BC, we hear that we rarely head out for an adventure expecting something will go wrong, and most times everything goes right. That is really well said. We rarely expect to go out and have things go wrong. Most time, everything goes right. Investing in trip safety can mean the difference between success and becoming a stat. Take the essentials plus the seasonal and sport-specific gear. So, there you go. Now, that adds into the 10 essentials, and Brylang has added the link to the 10 essentials there in the chat, and we'll make sure that's also in the show notes, that the link to the 10 essentials. But the 10 essentials are something you should have with you, because you're never expecting anything to go wrong, but sometimes it does.
Yeah. Reminder, Adventure Smart BC will be on the podcast January 24th. That'll be episode 287. And, a reminder that the 10 essentials don't absolutely, it's a great starting point, but, don't limit yourself by, oh, okay, I've got these 10 things, I'm good. I mean, really, that's part of the whole concept of the 3 T's principle of trip plan, training, and take the essentials, because there may be more than 10 essentials depending on what you're doing. So,
Yeah.
understand what the essentials are for the adventure you've planned and bring those. But
Yeah,
the 10
because
is a really good starting point.
exactly. I mean, your essentials are going to change from the season. You're probably not going to need as much insulation in the summer as you will in the winter. So,
And clearly, Adventure Smart doesn't know about banjo caching
There
from the chat.
I
Thanks,
don't know
Tormor.
about that.
you go.
So, one of the 10 essentials is a first aid kit. We've talked about this several times. Have a good, well-stocked first aid kit. I have one that I picked up the basic first aid kit off of Amazon, I believe, clipped it onto my pack. And then, after I went out a couple of times, I realized, you know what? I really don't know what's in here. And I've learned that since becoming a podcast host and
Having
talking with
Dr. Alex on the
many
show.
people
Mhm.
and talking to Dr. Alex. So I opened it up and I looked at it and I go, well, I got Band-Aids. Okay. Uh, so I've gone to the dollar store and picked up some 4x4 pads and some other things, and it's pretty convenient and inexpensive. And when you have them, boy, there's nothing better than knowing, hey, I can take care of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
The only thing better is bringing Dr. Alex on the hike with you.
Which we have done.
We have done that. Yes.
yes. And he's really good at going through 3 or 4 of the first aid kits and finding exactly what he needs to make things work.
Exactly. Yeah. So I've got my backpack right here. So
Nice.
I'm going to just stand up for a moment so people can see sort of what it is. And then I'll, if you guys don't mind, I can start going through the pockets and just talk about the key carry things I have on me
Mhm.
every hike. Is that all right?
Yes, please.
Go
All
for it.
One moment, please. Let's see if I can do this without pulling my headphones off. All right. Get that turned around. All right. So rattle, rattle, rattle.
Your backpack looks suspiciously like a vest.
Yeah. Did I call it a backpack? I'm sorry. Yes, my vest. So here we go. I got my vest on.
Good thing you didn't stand up too tall because, as it's mentioned, Bryling says podcasters don't wear pants.
That's right. Okay. So we talked about them, hand warmers. I got a pair. Actually, that's 4 technically, because I carry a couple for Mrs. Monkey too in case needed. But you get those the chemical hand warmers here. They say they provide 8 hours of heat. I don't know.
4 maybe.
Yeah, it's 4 to 6 really. But they work well enough. So and they're small, right? And they're light.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can get a big box of them at Costco.
And you get a big box of them at Costco, which I have in my closet.
Maybe I should bring a big box from Costco to the event on the 15th or 16th.
You or I'm sure one of us can do that. Another thing that actually I've been inspired by some of my caching hikers to try and remember to do. I don't always remember to do it, but I looked in my pack and today I actually did have some, is a baggie with some paper in it. Carry a couple of those, just, emergency replacement logs if you're doing a cache and it needs a little bit of love.
Or emergency notes if you get lost.
For emergency notes and earth caching notes, I have a miniature Write in the Rain notebook in my pack that I won in a contest recently. Yay.
You.
Yay me. But clipped right onto the front of my vest, I got to point out, is on a clip so that it comes off nice and easy and quick.
Oh, weasel.
My emergency weasel. So it is a Fox 40, which I would highly recommend is the most cost-effective and powerful emergency weasel that you can get your hands on. This is how good it sounds. So there you go. If you
I'm
have,
sorry, I couldn't quite hear that. Could you do it again?
there
My
you go.
little neighborhood dogs are running to the man monkey's house now.
So these suckers are awesome. I would suggest if you can with your whistle, either put it on like a chain. I used to have it on a chain, but the chain broke. So and not obviously like a light chain like you put on trackables. But what I've done is I've just got a simple, cheap little lanyard that I picked up as swag in a
Carabiner?
cache, or carabiner, sorry, that I picked up as swag in a cache at one point in time, and I just put the safety weasel on there. And if you're listening to the audio podcast, it is a whistle. I'm being a jerk.
It's a whistle.
A weasel.
And so that just clips onto the D-ring on the front of my vest, along with my GPSR that also clips on the D-ring. And because I'm an earth caching fanatic, I also have a little device that has a magnifying glass and a thermometer on it, because the number of times I have gone to an earth cache that says, measure the temperature of this. I'm like, I don't have a thermometer. Yeah, now I do.
So that's not one of the 10 essentials. That's one of the 10 niceties
It's
for
just
earth
one of the-
caches.
It's an earth caching essential.
Do you put it under your tongue?
Yeah.
No, it's not that kind,
It's
Okay.
not that kind. No, it's the other kind.
which all have been personally tested.
I'm going to do one more thing, and then we've got some notes that have dropped in from our chat.
So
line.
many notes.
And so we'll jump to those after I do one more thing. And one more thing is my first aid kit. So I have a first aid kit, and after having Dr. Alex on the show, I also went through my first aid kit and I changed up some of the stuff that came in it. And I went onto Amazon, .ca for me, but Amazon, and I ordered 2 pairs of first aid scissors, like the heavy duty proper first aid scissors.
Yeah.
I've got a pair that's in my kit now, and my second pair is in my first aid kit that's in my car. The other thing I do, if you're watching the video, you'll see. If you're not watching the video and you're listening to the audio, you won't see. I put my first aid kit in a Ziploc bag, because when you're hiking in the Northwest, or a lot of different places, you can get in the rain, and if your first aid kit gets soaked, a lot of the stuff in there is going to get wrecked.
Mhm.
So there you go. So that's what I do with my first aid kit. Thank you very much, Dr. Alex, for all the tips on that.
I mean, so much of this is common sense, but reinforced by Dr. Alex. And when you hear it from Dr. Alex, you go, of course I should be doing that.
Yeah.
Why haven't I?
Yep. So jump into some of the things there from the chat.
Brightline says on his last hike, he had a light, a whistle, a lighter, gloves, toque, raincoat, pocket knife, thermal tarp, courtesy of Caching the Northwest, 2 liters of water, lunch and snacks, first aid kit, GPS, and a phone. That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But you know what? But this is the thing. It sounds like a lot of stuff, but it actually packs down.
It does. Yeah, I joke, but yes.
Yeah. Keats 94 threw in synthetic or merino base layers. Absolutely. Maybe a general spare change of clothes if you feel like the hike is going to be extreme or long enough. So that's some more great advice.
Yeah.
And if I'm on the hike, it's extreme and probably will be long enough that I will need a pair of clothes, because I've somehow managed to slide down the hill in mud or fall into the river or something like that.
Even just on the way home from the airport.
Yeah, you never know. It happens. Carry a towel. MC3 Cat says, I carry a small roll of duct tape, which is the handyman's secret weapon. Comes in handy for cache repair, but couldn't come in handy in other situations. Now, Wits End, you've taught me something in your everyday carry. That how do you carry duct tape?
I like the way you waited till his mouth was full of beverage.
Yeah.
I was a waiter at one time. I know the timing.
Either that or a dentist.
Oh, yes. I've been there myself.
That's right. I've carried gaff tape, duct tape around a credit card. I've carried it around a keychain. I have a keychain had got a long cylinder on it. Just wrap it around there. You don't have to carry the entire 150-foot roll that you buy at Home Depot. You can just carry enough to do a little cache repair, do a little whatever. It comes in handy for a lot of things. The old rule is if it sticks and it shouldn't, WD-40. If it doesn't stick and it should, duct tape. It solves most of the world's problems.
Good life advice. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you don't need the 150-foot roll of duct tape, but if you have 3 feet of it wrapped around something that's on your pack,
Yeah.
you never know when that's going to come in handy. So,
Yeah.
yeah, if you have to, if that bandage that's on your arm keeps coming off because it's wet or raining or something, wrap it with duct tape.
Yeah.
Just to get you home. Yeah.
Dormore says wrap it around your walking pole if you have a
There you go.
hiking staff or something.
Mhm.
You take one of your gift cards that you're going to get for the holidays here, and after you've spent it and you can't put more money on it anyway, just wrap it with a couple of feet of duct tape and throw it in your bag. It's small and mostly flat, and
Mhm.
doesn't take a lot of space.
I haven't seen extra batteries. Extra batteries is something I always toss in my pack,
Yep.
mostly for the GPS, because the idea is if I'm out and my GPS dies, that I can change the batteries and get back home.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah. I carry at least one, depending on the length of the hike, at least one set of charged, rechargeable double A's. Something else, a little trick I have developed for myself, and I'll share it with you folks if it's helpful to you. So obviously, I keep them in a Ziploc baggie so that they're protected. But what I do is when the batteries are charged, I put them in, the positive pointing one way and negative pointing the other way orientation. So the two batteries oriented opposite directions in the bag, so that because that's the way normally they go in the electronics, right?
Right.
And then once they're flat, I put them in with both the poles in the same direction, so that I know those are actually flat batteries. I've used them, they need to get recharged. So I have a little system like that I do that I just always remember. If they look like they're ready to go into the GPSR,
Then they're ready to go.
they're ready to go in the GPSR. So that's great advice. I think most of us do carry a cell phone charger,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
and you don't
A
have to
little
carry a
USB
huge one.
battery. Yeah.
Yeah, USB.
And batteries of any kind, is if you also carry, say, a couple of sticks of gum where you can get that foil wrap around there, you can use that to start a fire. So
There you go.
just FYI.
Something to keep in mind. We talked about flashlights. Brian Lang brought that up, and definitely it's one of the 10 essentials, but it's something you can definitely be thinking about. And I think Keats mentioned it earlier, is headlamp. I always have a headlamp with me. Thank you, Chris, for getting Chris and Jim for getting me hooked on Monoprice. They have these awesome $10 for a USB charged headlamp that has pretty much all the features you're going to need in a headlamp. They're super light. They don't take any, it's an internal battery in it with a little USB port on it. Charges up fairly quickly overnight. They're $10. Have a couple of them.
Yeah.
And you can charge them up in the car on the way to the trailhead if you forgot.
These are awesome. I love this thing. I use this every evening. Mrs. Monkey and I go out for a walk. We do a couple kilometer walk loop in the general neighborhood, and I have this on with the the red flashy light, so that motor vehicles can see me.
Annoy mode, we like to call that.
Well, annoy mode actually is the white flashy light like that.
Yeah.
I hope my camera still works. Yes.
I'm sorry. Half of our audience just went into seizures.
And I actually, annoy mode has worked very successfully for me when motor vehicles are approaching intersections on rainy nights. So there you go. One other thing before we jump back into some of the stuff from the chat, one other thing that I do carry on hikes, I carry on my wrist. I don't carry it in my pack. I have a paracord bracelet, which are great to have because then, if you need the paracord in emergency, you have it. But this paracord bracelet also has a fire striker, a flint and steel fire striker in the end. So, and I have tested it. It does actually start, you can actually start a fire with it.
I've seen bracelets like that have some like sisal twine woven through it, so you can pull it out and use it as tinder with your striker. So
that's cool.
Interesting.
I love that.
I haven't seen those before. Nice.
Keats 94 had some. Jim, did you want to grab that?
He says, if you're really into safety, the Garmin InReach or a sat phone, and I might add ham radio, walkie-talkie can be great in serious backcountry scenarios. You can text someone via satellite with the inReach, and somebody who has contributed that I'm keeping it in my car all the time now, not just for the backcountry. I lost that comment, but which is true because you can run into problems even without being in the backcountry and be somewhere without good cell coverage.
There you go. And I saw. Oh, yeah.
That was GSM times 2 says I'm keeping my inReach Mini in my car at all times.
There you go.
That's a great idea. Yeah, those are. I've been thinking about actually getting one of those. I haven't gotten one of those satellite transponders, the InReach, and I've been doing a little bit of research. Actually, the most recent issue of Explorer magazine had a review of the top 5 or 6 and the different.
I know you can turn those on month to month as you need them. Like, hey, you know what? In the spring, yes, I'm going to do a lot of hiking. Let's turn it on for a couple of months. And in the winter, I don't do as much backcountry hiking just because it's much more difficult. So I'll turn it off then. I won't pay for it then. So it doesn't have to be an ongoing expense if you're not planning to use it.
I don't know if all of them work that way, that you can just do the subscription for short periods, but definitely a couple of them do. So it's something to be considering. And then there's different services you can get with a subscription. So do your research. If it's something you're thinking about doing, definitely do your research. Keats94 also threw in, just make sure the batteries in your pocket don't create a circuit in your pocket. And that's why, Keats, I have mine in a plastic baggie and oriented the way that they're oriented, because when they're charged and they're in the baggie, I'm pretty safe.
Pretty safe. IHAM says the headlamp is currently on sale at Monoprice for 25% off.
Oh,
you know what? Go buy a couple.
That's right.
They're great stocking stuffers. This podcast is brought to you by Monoprice. Monoprice, the place for cheap headlamps.
Exactly. Quality headlamps at good prices and Land Monkey approved. There you go. But no, honestly, I would say just go and buy one of these things. Or a couple of them. They're fantastic. Buy one for every hiker in your family. I've bought them before for events as gifts to give out at an event. $10 US. It's not bad.
Exactly.
And 25% off. That's $7.50 US.
There you go.
You did that math in your head, didn't you?
I did. Now I can't tell you how much that is Canadian. I'm going to say $7.50 US is probably about $10 Canadian. Probably pretty close.
Yeah.
There you go. And GSM X2 said both Spot and InReach do monthly subscriptions now. So there you
Nice.
go. Very, very cool. So yeah, what else? I think that's, there's obviously there's TOTS, right? And so we've got pens, and I've got a multi-tool.
Yeah.
I do have an extendable magnet. Now I saw something really cool. Our chat lackey Brylang had a really cool extendable magnet tool that he brought on our last hike. I don't know if
is it the extendable magnet with a light?
It's with a light, but then it also had like some flexible end on it as well to look around corners. It was pretty awesome. And I think he said that geocaching.com is going to be selling them on their website. So
interesting
to watch for.
Yeah, I just saw the extensible magnet with a light. Has a little LED light. Oh, that's genius, because when you're getting down there, before you're just poking around in the dark.
There you go.
This allows you to have surgical precision.
He posted the link in the chat for it. So there you go. Very cool.
Nice.
Something else I carry, because it's super, super light, and it's a life straw.
Yes. Now, can I tell you something about the life straw?
Please do.
Right now, it's on sale at Amazon, $11.99.
Wow.
$11.99. You have your own life straw.
The guys buy a headlamp and a life straw. In fact, I'm going to tell you right now, the life straw actually weighs less than the headlamp. I'm doing science. And the cool thing with the life straw is if you're ever in a bind and you need water, you can basically suck water out of a mud puddle with this thing if you had to. But if you're at a creek and you're worried about cryptosporosis or whatever, You just pop the bottom off, you pop the top off, you just start sucking, and you pull in water, and it is filtered on the go, dynamically filtered for you.
They're great. Even if you're not into the backcountry, you can use it to drink hotel room tap water.
Yes,
And
you
you
can.
want to. Yeah. Or you know what? Take it on the airplane with you, because I've heard you're never supposed to drink the
That's
tap
right.
water on an airplane. So it maybe through that you might live long enough to make it to the TSA on the other end. So
There you go.
sorry,
So
I may be a little dramatic there.
Riley
Not
said
necessarily.
it's at shop.geocaching.com. It's called Geocaching Flex Light Magnet Tool. So it's a light with a magnet in the base and a flexible neck. So that's pretty crazy. He also said he has an MSR trail shot for water treatment that he takes with him.
Now, I just want to back up one more to that geocaching flex light magnet tool.
Yeah.
It's $15, folks.
That's a pretty
So
good price.
you get a light, you get a magnet, and you get a flexible tool for $15. And it's got the geocaching.com logo on it. So that even makes it better.
That's right.
You know, this last couple of weeks, there's just been all kinds of advice for people for their Christmas and Hanukkah shopping. There you go. We're here to help, folks. So I took my vest off, but one of the things we didn't talk about.
You look much more comfortable now.
It's actually, you know what? It distributes the weight so evenly. And I even still have water in my reservoir from my last hike, which I should empty out. But that's the other thing we didn't talk about is carrying water with you, which you definitely should make sure you have at least a couple of liters of water with you on your hike, as well as some food. And those are things we didn't get into, but part of your essentials. You should also have a hat with you, an appropriate hat for whatever weather you're hiking in. We talked about layers and rain protection and all those things. So yeah, it's all other stuff you should definitely be thinking about.
And if you're hiking here in the Northwest without rain protection, you're just silly.
And if you're hiking in the Southwest
without a hat
sun protection,
yeah.
Well, and sunscreen, and we talked about that in a previous podcast, didn't we? About sunscreen, that it's not just for sunny climes. It's you can be out on ice, snow, water.
Any of the reflective surfaces there, you're going to want sunscreen, because you're going to get sun reflected coming up underneath you into, so you're going to burn the bottom of your nose and your chin where you're not used to, unless you're, bearded.
That's why podcasters have beards.
And no pants. And there are other things down there you don't want sunburn.
Jeez.
Knees.
Exactly.
We're talking about knees.
Definitely your knees.
Oh, your ankles? Oh, it's terrible to have sunburned ankles and try to wear boots.
That would be very painful. All right.
Moving along.
So I think we've covered a lot of the stuff from the chat. You guys in the chat have been awesome tonight. Thank you for all that participation. Thank you to the folks who sent us things ahead of the show. We really appreciate that. That really helps. So 3 Hams, Gas Station Tuna, Doramore 2, and Adventure Smart BC. You guys helped make the podcast writing a lot easier by sending that stuff in ahead of time. And I think we're ready to start moving towards wrapping it up. What do you think, guys?
I think so. So, folks, thanks again. Now, if you enjoyed this show, we've got more coming. Next week, we are talking with Brian from HQ about the interesting business of geocaching. A week after that, on December 13th, is a Cachly update with Nick Hubbard, who's right here from the Northwest, folks. And on December 16th, wait a minute, that's not a Thursday.
No, it's not.
But we are having a live episode of Caching in the Northwest from Victoria. Yes, come join us.
That's episode 281.5. I like.
0.5. Yeah. And then, why it's almost Christmas, episode 282 is on December 20th. How to create a geotour. Geotours are all the rage. You heard about some earlier. We're going to have Jen and Jeff from Geocaching HQ on to talk about how to create a geotour. And then continuing the geotour theme, December 27th, this is the Olympic Geotour with Olympic Park Tourism, which I believe Land Monkey has some personal experience with.
I do. I've completed the original and the newer version of the Olympic Peninsula Geotour. I love the Olympic Peninsula.
It's great.
I look forward to going back and doing more and more exploring. You could literally spend a month exploring the Olympic Peninsula.
People live on the Olympic Peninsula. They spend their whole life there.
You know what? I can see why. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great place to visit, and obviously a really cool place to live. Well, as we're wrapping things up and encouraging people to come over and visit us in Victoria, I want to take a moment to thank Landsharks. They are our corporate Denali level sponsor. That's landsharks.ca, the outdoor adventure and geocaching store. Check them out online or go in person to visit their store in Victoria, BC. Open 6 days a week except holidays, and they're shipping online orders every day, especially this time of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
in the month of December, there's 1 week they're open 7 days a week.
Oh,
The week that we're there, they're opening special on Sunday just for us.
There you go. And not just for us, just for our fans.
That's right.
All you guys who come out to see us. And the last note about that is it's quickly approaching last call for the Southern Caribbean Geocaching Adventure Cruise, January 20th through 30th. So I think there is still the ability to get on that cruise. I saw somebody joined it just last week. So, if you're still been waffling about
there
that,
you go.
you can still get in on that fun.
And I'm betting you can probably leave the hand warmers at home on that one.
I'm thinking you're probably going to be good. Yeah. Unless the air conditioning on the ship is too cold.
Well, it could happen.
Yeah. Then you just go outside. But
Yeah.
anyways. Hey, we also want to thank our faithful Denali level supporters, and that's Bounce Bounce, Team Squirrel, Limax, and WorldCaching.com. Folks, if you want to know more about supporting the show, click that Patreon link over there on the CachingNW.com website. And if you do that and you sign up for the cost of just a coffee a month, a McDonald's coffee a month, and you become a supporter of our show, you will also have the delightful pleasure of having one of the three of us read your name at the end of every episode, just like this. Broncos fan for life, Sprouter, Camp Clan, Kev Mac D, Subway Mark, Doramore, Dune Buddy, Kid Vegas 19, Geo Nav Pros, Wino Seattle, Ackerdoc, Billy Robson, Genies, and Teus, Keats 94, Trexer, Zero MC, 3 Cats, and Kennel Barb. And yes, I did sneak a breath in there in the middle.
We'll forgive you. But maybe somebody out there won't and wants to chastise you on social media, email, or otherwise. How would they reach you?
Well, they reach me at Wits End on Twitter and Facebook. Oh, yeah. Okay. No, it's Land Monkey GC on Twitter, Instagram, and Periscope. That's where you find me. And, if you want to check out our YouTube videos, we have just posted the 9th episode of our season 1 Baltic adventure. So that's Land Monkey, LANMONKEY on YouTube. And you can find us there and enjoy that. And episode 10, our final episode for season 1, is going to be coming out soon. I'm still working on it.
Okay.
Wits End, my friend.
My non-melodical social media handle is just Wits End. Typically found on Twitter and Facebook and over at geocaching.com. There's that messaging center. That works well too. Or right here on Thursday night. Chris, how about you?
Thursday night, right here. That's the only place to find me.
Okay.
Or you could go to Twitter, CachingNW, Facebook.com/CachingNW. Find me on Instagram at Caching in the Northwest.
All right. Well, for everybody else, we want to thank you, all of you, for taking the time to listen to this episode of Caching in the Northwest. You can be part of the show, give us a call, 253-693-TFTC. You can leave us a comment, ask us a question, send us a monoprice headlamp anytime, day or night. And of course, you can email us at feedback@cachingNW.com. Your support helps to keep quality shows coming. If you like the show, why don't you trot on over and click that Patreon link. It's on the CachingNW.com website. You can subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, any of your favorite podcasting applications. This show right here, it's produced by Chris Humphenauer and Jay Kennedy and hosted by Chris J. and Jim Paulwitz. And this show, it's licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license, copyright 2018 by Chris Humphenauer. Now hang out and chat with us. We have this thing. It's the after show.
It's that thing.
That thing.
That's the
Hey, folks, if you're new to Caching in the Northwest, the after show is, kind of an add-on. It's a time for us to chat with our live listeners. If you have to go, we understand. It's okay.
Would it be something that happens after the show?
What?
That's pretty much how we came up with the name, because it happens after the regular show.
Okay.
We're pretty creative around here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you.
If you want to contribute something to the after show, use the hashtag FATAS. You know what? You could do that during the week as you're sitting in your office. You're going, I wonder what the boys on Caching in the Northwest would think of this. Just send a tweet using hashtag FATAS to us. We'll talk about it.
You know what? I haven't looked at that hashtag for a little while. While we get going here, I am going to hashtag FATAS. I'm going to search hashtag FATAS.
And
right
one of the first things we promised about the after show is that we would paste in that YouTube link. So, okay, folks, you can go watch YouTube now. So there's the link in the show notes to the YouTube video about the GIF. I want to say contestants and event host, the GIF event host.
There you go. This is lame. The only thing I can find in Twitter for hashtag FATAS is Free Trade Alliance.
That it's a big one there too, isn't it?
It is. But you know what? Geocaching FATAS stuff would be way more interesting.
We should take over that hashtag and just push the Free Trade Alliance right on out.
That's right. It's up to you guys. It's up to you listeners.
So Keats94 says, day 421 of the streak.
Wow.
I was going to end on a high note, but the FTF lure was strong with Bowen Island today. Taking the Via train to Agassiz, the streak continues.
Nice.
So, yeah, and end on a high note, 420. Get it? Come on, guys.
Boom.
Yeah. Keats, well played. I have a great glow from Keats about keeping that streak going. And we'll have to play that one coming up. Or not play, read that one coming up.
Cool.
And folks, if you have glows, send them in. We need your glows. Because great logs make oh wait, I've already said that today.
But it's true. Hey,
it's true.
You know what? Geocaching.com has agreed with us so much that they've now created upvoting so that there will be more glows.
Yes, exactly. See, we've talked about it long enough that other people are listening and saying, oh, that's a good idea. Let's do that. Keats says, I'll send a glow in.
Nice. Way to go, man. All right.
Now, if Keats will do it, will you do it too? Send your glow in now. You're for the price of a simple geocaching log a week, you can help great geocaching stories.
It's a thing. It's true.
Yeah, I was trying to do my best PSA, but I wasn't prepared.
Awesome. All right.
Let's see. Keats also says he wants to know about this Vancouver island geotour. Will it be spread around the island? Will it be like Gold Country?
So, which is a great question. Brian said no. It's centered in the Mount Arrowsmith UNESCO Biosphere region, which is a real mouthful. Simply put, it's around Parksville, British Columbia, on midway up Vancouver Island. Less than an hour from the Nanaimo ferry. And there are 8 geocaches in the geotour, 2 multis, 6 traditionals. The geotour is GT8F. Now, remember, if you're using the official app, you can actually pull up geotours right on the official app. And I think most of the other apps now have the ability to search for geotours as well. But it's called the Amazing Places Geotour. I've heard some great things. Rock Chalk just finished it the first weekend it was out.
Of course he did.
And so I checked in with him about his experiences and got a few tips from him on the correct order to do them. And basically what I picked up is if you pretty much do them south to north, you're going to be in good shape. And
can you take the last train to Parksville?
Yes, I'll see you in the morning.
Okay.
Really, Mount Arrowsmith?
Can be there by 4:30.
That's right. Thank you for keeping that going. I appreciate that. So sorry, what was that about Mount Arrowsmith?
Really, Mount Aerosmith is that next to like Mount Journey?
Yeah. Well, the thing about Mount Aerosmith, there's really only one method for climbing it. You do have to walk this way.
Gotcha.
All right.
How do you have to talk?
This way.
Okay.
And I'm not telling you the next line.
I think it's da 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 da.
Anyways, so yeah, there you go, Keats. And thank you, Briarling, for the answers. And yeah, I'm really excited about going and checking out the Amazing Places Geo Tour. 25 favorite points for it so far. It's not even been out a week yet. So there you go. What else we got going on? Oh, I closed the chat by accident. Shoot.
Well, it's done then.
Yeah. Sorry.
There's one more that Doramore wants to know, and I don't know if we should answer.
What's that?
She wants to know, are the podcasters going to wear pants at the event in Victoria? Or should I wear a blindfold when I get there? Blindfolds will be provided for you because we cannot podcast in pants. It's too constraining.
You know, I will guarantee there's going to be some surprises for our regular listeners at that podcast.
Wow.
I'm going to make a guarantee there will be some surprises. I'm not going to say what those surprises are, but I will guarantee you will have fun if you come and join us at that event. We, as we already said, you're going to have too much fun, and you're going to have to go and get counseling for having too much fun. But that's, it's a risk I'm willing for you to take.
I'm willing to put you at risk.
That's right. I think we covered that right off the beginning of the podcast. You gonna live big, guy?
Yeah, too much fun.
See, that's a risk I was willing for you to take.
Wow. Okay. Hey, folks, thanks for sticking with us tonight. And until next week, get out and get caching in the Northwest.